called softly.
Everyone.
Yes, Mr. Frodo.
Answered Sam, waking up suddenly at the sound of his master's voice.
Sam, would you do anything for me?
Frodo asked, in his most seductive voice. Sam looked across the cave at Frodo with a look of tender concern. The monster in Frodo's chest leapt with excitement and desire when they made eye contact. Frodo rose to his hairy feet and unclasped his cloak.
Of course, Mr. Frodo. I'm your Sam.
He said in a meaningful way, slowly pushing off the blankets. The hobbits stood for a moment, drinking the sight of each other in, letting their feelings of anticipated ecstasy grow stronger and stronger.
Sam, I need your big hairy hobbit cock in my mouth.
Campfire stories is Mr. Nugget.
Sam was instantly so hard that he ripped a hole in his trousers. Frodo trembled with excitement as Sam took hold of each side of his face and forced him to his knees. Sam had been wanting to do this for years, and all his pent-up frustration came out suddenly in a burst of hot, salty cum as soon as he inserted his throbbing, hairy hobbit cock into Frodo's eagerly waiting mouth. Frodo moaned. He wasn't ready for the impressive volume of cum that shot down his throat. He didn't know hobbits could cum so much. He closed his lips around Sam's penis and let it swim in the pool of cum that was still inside his mouth. Ugh. He didn't want to swallow it. He wanted to taste it as long as he could. Sam looked down at Frodo. He watched the cum leak out from his tightly sealed lips and, not wanting the fun to be over so soon, thrust even harder at Frodo's throat. But Frodo couldn't handle all his meat and gagged, letting the cum spill out all over Sam's hairy, bulging balls. He was a little sad that it was over so soon, because what he really wanted was to be fucked so hard by that hairy hobbit cock that he wouldn't be able to keep walking to Mordor for at least a week. Sam gets Frodo disappointed.
You have to hear the story he's saying.
Oh, Mr. Frodo, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to come so fast. I couldn't help myself.
Shh. It's okay, Sam.
Frodo stood up and undressed himself until all he was wearing was his shining
Hey,
and of
it's
course,
reenactment.
the ring that
It's
was
a
hung around
reenactment.
his neck on a chain. He knew what he had to do if he wanted more of that thick nut cream.
Where the hell are you getting all
He pushed
this?
Sam to the ground on all fours, and after he ripped off his pants, he shoved his own hairy hobbit cock as far inside Sam's ass as he could go. All he wanted now was to get some of this delicious fat booty. Sam screamed with delight. Frodo knew that he should have used some lube, but he didn't care. He ran as hard as he possibly could.
Oh, Mr. Frodo!
Sam wailed with pleasure over and over again. Frodo had no mercy and took from behind far into the night until he knew that Sam's balls were full of the juiciest cum he would ever taste. But suddenly, they were erupted.
Master!
Smeagol's voice broke the rhythm of the two sweaty hobbit bodies crashing into each other. He had been out fishing in the river, as the storm didn't bother him, and he laid his catch at the entrance of the cave. Frodo turned towards Gollum, expecting to feel rage at the intrusion. But instead, he was surprised to feel a tingle of fresh excitement. He could tell Sam felt the same way as his asshole tightened around Frodo's penis with anticipation of what might come next. Smeagol entered the cave slowly, observing the scene before his surprise and intense jealousy. He crawled in his animalistic fashion towards the aroused hobbits.
That
The
girl has
scent
a
of fish
mustache.
filled the air, tantalizing their senses. Smeagol wasted no time. He couldn't let Sam have Master all to himself. He flung his loincloth away from him, revealing what had become of his penis after almost 600 years of living in wretched squalor. The sight of it startled Frodo.
It's literally 4:52 a.m. right now.
Oh boy. Yet as Frodo gazed upon it, it swelled to a girth that was so impressive, it took his breath away, and he was overcome with admiration. Sam could sense how turned on Frodo was by the sight of Smeagol's fishy meat sword.
Oh my god, this is
He knew
ridiculous.
what he was going to have to do in order to win Frodo's heart. But true, he was anxious to show Frodo that he was a better lover than Sam could ever be. He slid one of his long, slippery fingers into Frodo's ass and wiggled it around as sensually as he could. Frodo groaned, while Sam watched. Then Smeagol crouched in front of Frodo, took Frodo's whole penis and balls in his gaping wide mouth, and sucked so hard that Frodo almost came. Smeagol could barely handle Master's package. Go. Damn it. He gagged as he licked Frodo's penis further as wet gullet. Sam couldn't stand idly by any longer. He pulled Frodo around, freeing his throbby phallus from Smeagol's eager oral carriage. Then suddenly, an idea seized him. He took the ring from off the chain around Frodo's neck and put it up to the tip of Frodo's penis. Their eyes met, and Frodo knew what Sam wanted to do. Even the ring understood. It grew many sizes larger in order to accommodate Frodo's hairy hobbit tickler. Sam slid the ring up to the base of Frodo's penis, letting his hand brush gently against the sides of his beloved master's member. That's when it happened. Frodo disappeared from sight. Smeagol hissed with delight as he stroked himself with his own slimy fingers that had just been foraging around inside Frodo's tight little asshole.
Giggity!
Sam seized his moment.
Giggity, giggity,
He was
goo!
ready to give Frodo what he had been waiting for all night. He held Frodo steady in front of him. He felt around with the tip of his fat sausage until he found what he was looking for. He spread Frodo's hairy ass cheeks so wide that Frodo whimpered. Smeagol writhed around on the floor in front of them, panting. He was just so horny he couldn't stand it. All of a sudden, many things happened at once. Frodo grabbed Smeagol and shoved his tongue inside Smeagol's lipless mouth, tasting the stale essence of trout that still lingered on his breath, and reveling every moment of what was about to happen. Sam thrust forward with a brute force that knocked the breath out of Frodo's lungs. His invisible ass just wasn't ready for the pummeling he was about to take. Gasping for air, he lifted himself off of Smeagol's face and bent lower to take Smeagol's pale, quivering penis into his mouth. The ecstasy that ensued, beyond words. Sam watched his huge fat cock get squeezed by the invisible tunnel of flesh until it was turned white. He could see his foreskin being peeled back like a wizard taking off his hood every time he thrust forward.
I like
It was
wine.
just so tight and delicious he couldn't believe it.
Love it.
He could see Smeagol's penis getting treated in the warm, moist pleasure of Frodo's mouth. And he almost blew his load. Hours passed. Or maybe only minutes. The three would never know. Smeagol turned around so that he was laying under Frodo, who was still stuffing his face with Smeagol's aged member, and began gobbling Frodo's cock and balls as if he had never tasted anything so juicy and sweet in his life.
Please kill me.
The sight of his own schlong fucking the ass his invisible master was too sexy for him to endure for another second. Frodo could tell Sam was about to explode. Don't hold back any longer, Sam. Let me be your cum bucket. Frodo. Oh, Mr. Frodo, I'm going to fill you up with so much of my cream. Sam panted. And I won't stop until we make butter. Oh, Sam, I love butter. Moaned Frodo. Then, Sam's salty dick neck shot out so hard Frodo could
God.
feel it splash against the insides of his coat, like the release of the river on Iceland. The sensation was so intense that Frodo couldn't contain himself. The spray from the shaft took Smeagol by surprise, but he happily gobbled up every last drop of his beloved master's cock snot until he was fully satisfied. Then he finally released his own dick juice, which Frodo sucked down like the thirsty little hobbit he was. At last, he collapsed by the fire, exhausted from their rigorous lovemaking, and fell into a content sleep. The end.
What the fuck was that?